It's probably the most well-known location in the entire Mario series, Princess Peach's castle. It's in most games and it's in all kinds of different sub-series too, either as an explorable location or just as a set piece or even background element. But for how much this place has been brought back, it's not too often that it actually looks the same. So I figured, how about we take a look at all these different appearances, see how much the castle differs each time, and perhaps even try to figure out whether these castles are actually the same thing, but reimagined, or whether Peach just has multiple castles. Funnily enough, well, I'm sure we all associate Peach's castle with all kinds of different games. The location itself actually made appearances in all kinds of different media before it was ever put in a game. The first time was in the Super Mario Bros. Peach Hime Kyushutsu Daisakuzen anime movie. Appearances in the Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon followed, and even the Super Mario Kun manga adaptation made the location an actual thing before the games did, around the time of its Super Mario World arc. And the first time we'd see where Peach lives in an actual game wouldn't even be a Nintendo developed one, as the first to show the castle, called Mushroom Castle around this time, is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Never again has the castle ever looked remotely like this, which makes sense since this is the only game that predates Super Mario 64 and that game's castle design, which has obviously become the look ever since. In that light, it's easy to overlook this castle as growing pains, and if the SNES original was all we had to go on, I would be inclined to agree, but we don't. You see, the Switch remake of Mario RPG does actually change the design of this Mushroom Castle quite a bit, making the roof blue rather than red and the bricks white or grey rather than brownish, meaning they could have also modernized this design and made it resemble Peach's castle as we have come to know it. But they didn't. They kept its design completely unique, which tells me this is actually a separate castle from the usual one, something that's further supported by the fact that the castle is right in the middle of the unnamed town, which is obviously not the case in later iterations. And so, moving into the next game, our castle counter is at 2, since obviously Super Mario 64's castle is not the same castle as Mario RPG's. From here on out though, it gets a lot more tricky, because as you surely know, the castle design for Mario 64 serves as the main inspiration for every castle that follows after it. But in true Mario fashion, that doesn't mean they copy-pasted. In fact, the amount of castles afterwards that are truly the same as Mario 64's can be counted on one hand. Mario Kart 64 is an obvious one, with the castle model reused exactly in Royal Raceway. Wrecking Crew 98 has the exact same castle used in its credits, and Mario Party 3's intro shows nothing to suggest it's a different castle, down to the details of the surroundings and the interior even. But that's pretty much it. There are a few more games I would qualify as reimaginings though, being particularly the two Galaxy games. The castle lines up, even the castle grounds, so the area we start in Mario 64 is present and accurate, it's just that elements are added beyond that which didn't originally exist. Another game I'm gonna count for this castle design is Mario Party 4, which shows it in the distance during the intro. The design matches, and since we can't see the direct surroundings, I'd say this one qualifies. Trust me, the list of different castles is long enough as is. Because that's really it. All other games that feature Peach's castle have either 1. Surroundings that don't match Mario 64, or 2. A differently designed castle either from the inside or outside. So let's take a look at those, starting with Paper Mario. Although this castle is clearly inspired by Mario 64, which they all are, so I'm not gonna keep saying that all throughout the video, there are too many differences here to say this is the same castle. The building is smaller, its interior doesn't line up, it has the image of a mushroom on the front rather than Peach herself, and it's built on top of Bowser's castle, which is probably not always the case in every game. In fact, this doesn't align with any other game. Paper Mario's Peach's castle is completely unique and the only one of its kind. Now, whether the Paper Mario world is actually even canon to the Mario games and not just a storybook is a topic for another day, but for now this is Peach's third castle, and we can up that number even more by including the second new castle from the Paper Mario series, courtesy of Origami King. While the interior is actually pretty close to Mario 64, the outside just doesn't align. The moat is much larger, there is a wall around the castle, and it is a single drawbridge away from Toad Town, which is also nearby in other games, but then the design is off. So yeah, Another unique one this. Origami King is far from the only game that puts a large wall around the castle though. This idea originated from New Super Mario Bros. U in the main series, but was also already seen in Mario Sports Mix as well, despite that game predating NSMBU. Unfortunately though, that doesn't mean these two are the same castle. NSMBU shows that the interior of the walls is basically entirely flooded, save for a single bridge, so there is no way this castle is the same as Peach Court as seen in Mario Sports Mix. And since no other castle has that wall going around it, these two are again completely unique castles, putting our count at 6 already. And just to show you I'm not trying to force a high number here, let's go over some games that show enough similarities to give them the benefit of the doubt and count them as the same castle. The 3 remaining New Super Mario Bros. Games all use a castle design that is pretty much identical, and the surroundings are the same too, as in, they're just grassland and a straight path. Simple as that may sound, it actually contradicts every castle we've seen so far and plenty that are yet to come, but they at least all count for 1 entry. There are more games that reuse this design though. The crossover games Itadaki Street and Fortune Street for example, as well as Super Princess Peach and Super Mario 3D World. Another castle design that has made multiple appearances debuted in Super Mario Odyssey. Or did it? You may be thinking I'm referring to Mario 64 when I say that, seeing as Odyssey's Mushroom Kingdom is obviously a big homage to 64's hub world, but I'm actually not. There are simply too many differences between the two. So many that you can't really chalk that up to technical advancements in the real world or urban development in universe. But that still doesn't mean the castle in Odyssey was brand new. Because while it may not align with 64 completely, there are hints that it may be the same castle from Mario 3D Land. So, in 3D Land, we don't see the castle up close, only far away, so we have no clue what the direct surroundings look like, and they may look the same as they do in Odyssey. But we know that a certain distance away is the Tail Tree in 3D Land, which returns in Odyssey for the first and only time. So while that is not rock hard evidence, it does suggest these two castles are one and the same. It can be disproven at least. Odyssey's castle model would later also be reused for Princess Peach Showtime, so that is another game using this same castle. Okay, that means we're on 8 different castles now, and I would say I'm really giving castles the benefit of the doubt here. But there are just some that are so different from any other castle we know that I just cannot conclude anything else but say they're unique and another separate castle altogether. Take Mario Golf for Game Boy Color. This game has a Peach castle that is located on a flying island in the sky. A bizarre design choice that is later reused for Advanced Store, although this game adds a whole bunch of mushrooms that weren't originally there. Then there is Mario & Luigi Brothership, where we see castle grounds unlike anything we've seen before, Superstar Saga, where the castle is uniquely yellow, Mario Maker 2, where the central castle has only just finished being built when the story mode starts, and Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story, where the outside is reminiscent of other games, but the interior doesn't match at all with what we have seen in other games. So all of those must be unique, which is 7 extra castles right then and there, 15 total now. And we haven't even talked about the worst offending sub-series yet, Mario Kart. So many Mario Karts have courses that feature Peach's castle as a landmark or even part of the track, but the only time the castle has ever looked like anything we've seen in the mainline games was the aforementioned Mario Kart 64. In Super Circuit, the entire castle appears to be pink and is designed differently from what we know, while when the course received a redesign for Tour, a gate is added that no other game has, as well as surroundings that are unique to it. Mario Kart Double Dash features the castle on Mario Circuit, although castle looks more like a mansion here. Its design is much more horizontal than we know it to be. Mario Kart Wii has it surrounded by homes that are otherwise never there, and in Mario Kart 7 we literally drive through the castle itself, which I cannot imagine Peach would ever allow to her actual castle, so this is certainly a replica or a prop of some sort. Something similar applies to Mario Kart 8's and Mario Kart DS's Peach's castles, which look pretty close to some we've seen before in terms of actual design, but they are completely surrounded by kart tracks. There is no way that was all added to Peach's actual castle and then removed overnight. The same thing applies to Mario Golf Toadstool Tour's Castle Grounds course, where the surroundings of the castle is nothing but a golf course. Something similar is seen in World Tour as well, although here the surroundings of the golf course actually resemble Mario Sports Mix more, to the point I was close to calling this the same castle until I noticed that while they both have that massive wall around it, Mario Sports Mix's castle is much closer to the action than World Tour's, which is a minor difference, but does mean they could never be the same building. Which puts us at 23 castles total now, and we're still not done. While it is likely that the two castles seen in the two Mario plus Rabbids games are one and the same, their design heavily contradicts in terms of placement and surroundings with any other game we've seen, so that's 24 castles. Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, March of the Minis, has several levels set inside Peach's castle, and while the outside looks familiar enough, the inside is not at all consistent with what we've seen before or later. While consistency between games is not the problem for Mario and Luigi Dream Team and Paper Jam, it's clear they use the same version of Peach's castle. That castle is wildly different from any other. Its design is more compact, its door is weirdly rounded, and it's located on a freaking island. That's definitely new. And I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be, but it is from a Mario game, Mario Hoops Free on Free. It's even from a stage called Peach Field, but it's nothing like any other version of Peach's castle we have ever seen. But in that light, isn't it basically confirmation? Confirmation that Peach has more than one castle. Sure, 27 different castles, which is the final number I ended up on, is maybe a little overkill, but real-life royals also have multiple castles, so the idea is not far-fetched at all. And then we haven't yet considered that all Mario Kart castles may actually be props, for example. Same with the Mario Sports games, which would lower the number to a more manageable and believable 13. 11 if you discount the Paper Mario castles too. That's a lot more realistic. I mean, the British royal family owns 10 castles total, and they don't actually rule their kingdom anymore like Peach does. So who's to say she doesn't actually have 11 castles spread all throughout the kingdom? We don't know, we will probably never have official confirmation, but it's a theory I think works. At least until we're several decades further along the way and Peach suddenly has so many castles it's becoming more unrealistic. But what do you think about Peach's many castles? And do you have a favorite? Share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. And if you really want to support me, you can now become a channel member to get all kinds of fun perks and help me keep bringing these videos to your doorstep every week. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.